Welcome. You are about to take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show. For the next hour, allow her to prepare you in becoming a magnet for a profound love-infused relationship by identifying and focusing on solutions through love. Awaken the light within and let your essence shine. And now, here's Deborah Beauvais on Love by Intuition, all part of the Dreamvisions 7 radio network.
Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, mes amis. And here I am, Deborah Beauvais, founder and owner of the Dreamvisions 7 radio network. We are a Boston-based, syndicated internet radio station with all the bells and whistles. You can listen in your car, on your mobile devices, online. You can be in You can be in Sweden, as I always say, or in the USA, any state, and listen wherever you are. And for those that may not be aware, we are the media partner for the Omega Institute, and we are 3 years into our partnership, and we're really enjoying because we're both on the same wave of holistic health, sustainability, all the things that we should be focused on in this day and age so that our planet can support this human race we are. This is a live show, should I say, and Bob is in the house, and we welcome callers, and the number is 833-220-1200, again, 833-220-1200. Don't be shy, because we have an amazing guest. Actually, she's been on the show previously, but it's been quite some time. Her name is Jaentra Green Gardener. And if you'd like to listen to some previous shows, you can go on the site, Dreamvisions, all one word with an S on the end, the number 7radio.com. And put her name in the search, and up will come all kinds of goodies. Jaentra is Jaentra, Green Gardener. That's the full name. So, Jaentra is a certified massage therapist, and through this 30 years, she has done all kinds of studied acupressure, reflexology, Reiki, integrated awareness technique, polarity therapy, age regression, all kinds of good things. And she incorporated her own method called 3-Heart Balancing. And it's helping others to cope with healing challenges because years back, Jaentra was diagnosed with MS. And so through all this exploring, she has come to a place where she is thriving and teaching others. And she's part of the Healing Hands Network. But before we get any further, let's bring her. Jaentra, welcome to the show.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here and would love to talk to anybody who calls in about your healing journey. I think this is a great time to be alive. I'm so happy to welcome the challenges we have.
Yes, because in essence, as we know, to become conscious and realize what the journey is all about here, you become in gratitude for some of the challenges and the different things that happen, because I've said from years back, and it's still true, I feel we choose to be on Earth, and we choose to come here so we can grow our souls. And it isn't all that fun every day, but we can see the gifts within, would you say?
Yes, I would say so.
Yes.
I think everybody really wants to connect with their soul, whether they know it or not, whether they know how to or not. And what's nice is if you really go into your heart of hearts, the physical heart, and take deep breaths, you can connect with your soul pretty easily.
Yes. So tell us more about that, because for someone that may not understand, how do you connect with your soul, Jaentra?
Well, I know that my soul is in every single cell of my body. And, used to be I don't know if years ago there was a film called What the Bleep Do You Know? Lots of people saw, and it talked about the observer. That was their word for the soul. It's a part of us that observes our life, that kind of sometimes passes judge, but more or less just gives advice, notices, holds space for us. And one of the things I think that has changed is there's not that distance between us and our soul anymore, that our soul is changed from becoming the observer to the doer. And
I like that.
Yeah, it's part of being in our body. And our bodies aren't perfect. How everybody has something wrong. And our soul has giving us these little things and big things that are wrong with us, so that it's like lighting a path to how we can improve ourselves. So it's new energies to really pay attention to our body. I think that's really the funny way of connecting with your soul that's pretty easy. So often, in our culture, we're just supposed to keep going no matter how we hurt. They talk about shopping till you drop, and people overwork. I mean, we all know we do too much. And, if we're hurting or we're sad or, our muscles aren't going the way we think they should, we try to tough it out. And
that's really what society has taught us, is to just push through it.
Yeah. I know that I've been guilty of that. I certainly have. And sometimes, we have this little voice of intuition that says to us, no, you should rest, or don't do that. Do something else. And then, unfortunately, we don't listen. So that's the other way to really connect with what would nurture our souls, is to pay attention to our intuition. And, of course, Love by Intuition is your whole show.
Right. And it's, it's really like the eye of the soul is the intuition. It just shows up and tells us, out of safety, I think, out of really supporting us in everything we do.
Yeah, I know that.
Shake it off.
I know that. I think I was thinking about, we just had Hurricane Dorian, go through our world.
Right.
And I think that that's a metaphor for how our soul is helping us change. It's like all the things that happen to us that make us feel bad can feel like a tornado. But if we do take deep breaths and connect with our heart and do whatever we can to stay in the here and now, in this moment, then we can find peace. We can be in the eye of the storm. So we're not torn around and thrown around. But we can make our statement by being in the eye of the storm, and then listening to what wisdom just flows from our inner self, listening to voices that maybe we're not used to paying attention to. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And you can just be with it.
Yeah. I think, that's where, some people have done that by learning different yoga or meditative practices, and that's really good. But I'm talking about being in the here and now no matter what you're doing, whether you're walking down the street or doing the dishes or talking on the phone or playing with your children. If you
doing a live radio show.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I feel doing this? I feel excited. I feel butterflies. And I love butterflies. And so I see the picture of butterflies surrounding me and supporting me. So that's the kind of thing that being in the eye of the storm allows for my imagination to blossom.
And with what you're saying, what I'm feeling lately is we're moving energy. We're really stirring things up. We're moving energy, and I'm on this thing now where you go from gratitude and you incorporate that in every bit of your life, and you really embrace everything. And then there's another level where I'm finding is really knowing from your core that each one of us is supported. We may not believe it. We may be, please, please, please help us do this or that. But we don't need to do those pleases, because all we have to do is believe in our source that we are supported through our source and guides and all the things that are there for us. All we have to do is believe. How do you feel about that?
I think believing is easy when you're in the here and now. Sometimes our bodies throw us into the past, or, a stranger or a friend will say something that triggers us, and then all of a sudden we feel maybe ashamed or sad or not good, like we're failing in some way. And it's important to realize when we feel bad that we're not in present time, that we're in the past. Maybe it's been some way that we've each felt this lifetime, or maybe it's other lifetimes. And I think with the soul being the doer, there is more of a part of us that wants to know who we are. So if I'm going to feel bad, I believe that I'm not alone. And I believe that the earth and the source and the soul are pushing me to discover who I am. And then as soon as I release the not okay things I'm telling myself, and maybe I have an imagination or a vision of where that memory comes from. It doesn't always happen, but as soon as I recognize it's not in the here and now, and that I'm special, I'm important, I'm precious, and even in the days that I know that I'm no more important than a speck of sand on the beach, there's nobody like me. If I can get to that place, no matter how I feel, then I can create new energies. Instead of feeling sad about something that's happened, I can decide to create something that is a positive, loving vibration that's maybe never been on Earth before. And I look at humans as that we're evolving, and that's the exciting thing about being alive right now, is we can create more positive feelings than we could have ever imagined before.
Right.
I think it's easy to get stuck in feeling bad. I know I have. And
I think it's a natural human instinct. But when you're conscious and you're aware, you can shift that as soon as if it's coming, or if it triggers. Once you're aware of it, you can really shift it into something else, which I always say is love. And when you do that, you can, as you know, because you live it, it can change everything and how you feel inside of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but when you're in that glow of energy and light, when you're there, sometimes it's hard to go back to the mundane, back to the chatter that we all have in our minds. If you try and you're trying to think of something from the old, it's hard. And I find that so exciting that you can actually stay in that light energy for longer periods of time, and it can actually dictate what kind of day you want to have.
I agree. You can dictate what day you have.
Yeah.
We had a young woman who was 39 years old, and her name's Emily. People can go on YouTube and listen to her talk about her miracle. She had a wonderful miracle this year. But what
is the YouTube under? Is it under your name or?
Jaentra Green Gardener.
Okay.
Jaentra Green Gardener.
Good.
She came to me. Our network, we all worked on her, and we worked on her every day because she had so much cancer in her bones that they could not repair her hip. They thought it was going to break and she was just going to be crippled. Mm-hmm. And she had breast cancer, And one of the things I know for sure is when we have cancer in the bones, for some reason we've always been able to heal that particular part of the cancer. And I think it's because the bones are so integral to where our body is. And so even if the person has ended up dying of the cancer later on, in the short term, we've been able to help that person. And so we were talking about believing is important. I trusted what we did before. I mean, there's no guarantees in healing, so I didn't get to say to her, I know for sure that we are going to have your cancer go away. I couldn't say that. But I could say that cancer has gone away, and because you're in this kind of danger with your bones maybe breaking in a crippling kind of way, our network, which is, God, we got over about 100 people or so that are willing to be volunteers. She got hands-on every day. And she did traditional treatment. And, of course, they told her the cancer would never go away, that she had a really aggressive kind. And according to the scans, it went away. It went away in May, and she came to us at Christmas time. Now, what's really challenging for her is what you and I were just talking about. We ask for miracles, we want miracles, but there is a part of her that's really frightened that the cancer is going to come back and this is not real.
Yeah.
What's nice is that it doesn't matter. I think the soul, being one with the body, made a choice, along with her and helped her choose. And that if it does come back, it'll be a good thing. But this was really a good thing that she got to release it and be empowered and enjoy life. She used to do barrel racing, which is an extreme sport, a rodeo kind of sport. Yeah. And she can do that again. Her bones have grown back to the extent that she doesn't have to worry about jumping up and down on a saddle and breaking her hip.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, was she able to? Do you know if she's able to replace the fear with something else? And is she, because when you resonate in that trust that your body can heal, you're actually telling the body to heal and supporting it in that way. Do you think she got there?
Yeah, she gets there a good share of the time.
Oh, good.
And it's only when she gets triggered, like any of us get triggered, and gets thrown into the past. And then she's really gotten good at figuring out that's where she is and doing what you talked about, where you can decide what kind of day you're going to have. Mm-hmm. Move yourself out there and say, okay, here and now I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm getting stronger, I have my whole life ahead of me.
Right.
She can do that. And I wanted to mention her and tell her story because it's an extreme example, but all of us can do that. No matter what our challenges are, we can take that step and decide to live in the eye of the storm instead of being tossed about.
Yes. Dr. Burney will talk about how people have been told they have 6 months, 3 months, and so they go home and they start enjoying themselves. So they may move to the ocean and just live, enjoy, and knowing that they don't have much time left. But what happens is that whole mindset and enjoying and being in that moment, they live for years beyond.
Right.
So the mind is so powerful. It can rip you apart, or it can build you up and heal. And it really depends on each of us what thoughts we decide to choose on that particular day.
I think it's so powerful because we're not alone. The source pairs up with us in our intent. The earth supports us in our intent. And now our soul is one with our body, and our soul is wanting us to live a full and happy life.
Yes,
and so
that's why we're here. Yeah. Well, we are coming up on a break already, Everyone that's listening, stay with us because we have so much more. And I'd like to give out Jaentra's web address. Again, Jaentra is spelled Jaentra, and Green Gardener, all one word, JaentraGreenGardener.com. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about this. I like that the soul, you have said the soul becomes the doer. And it kind of ties into my thinking or feeling about moving energy, because in essence, the doer, the soul now being the doer, is moving energy, moving things around, moving things forward, moving things to the goodness. So we'll be back in a moment.
Experience a different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. Deborah Beauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at Seekonk Family Chiropractic in Seekonk, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Join us in May and we'll waive the daily fees. Located in Rhinebeck, in New York's beautiful Hudson Valley, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. That's 877-944-2002.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Do you have a lifelong favorite color? Awaken the language of color in your daily life and learn to harness its secret power with color intuitive Dougal Fraser at Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York. Learn how to infuse color with intention through first-hand practice and experience, revitalizing meditations, partner work, and group dialogues that are geared toward awakening your specific color energy. Mention discount code DREAM for 20% off when you register for the Manifest Your Dreams with Color workshop with Dougal Fraser, September 20th to 22nd. Learn more at eomega.org.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowdfunded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we're back. And you're listening during the breaks about certain Omega workshops that we, because of our partnership with the Omega Institute, any of our listeners can take the opportunity of having 20% off. So check that out. There's still time. They close for the end of October, but since we're at the beginning of September, there's plenty of time to sign up and get 20% off. Show Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., and most Tuesdays it's live. Also, when you're on the site, check out all the most glorious hosts there ever was out there, because we have such a great team of people that are creating shows just for you and bringing in that joy and healing. We're with Jaentra Green Gardener. We're talking about the journey of the soul. She is part of Loving Hands, which is 100, as she mentioned earlier, 100 volunteers to date. If you'd like to know more about that, you can go on the Healing Hands, with an S, healinghandsnetwork.org. healinghandsnetwork.org. And there's still plenty of time to call in and ask Jaentra a question or share your healing issue or journey, whatever you'd like. Our number is 833-220-1200. Again, 833-220-1200. Bob will connect and put you through. So, talking about the journey of the soul, you also mentioned, Jaentra, that we are in a period of searching and forgiveness. And forgiveness is a big item to come to a place of serenity over. So tell us more of what you mean by that forgiveness. Is it bubbled up more? Is it more deep? Is it more profound?
Well, I think forgiveness, we've certainly struggled with forgiveness and thought about it for a long time, And I think what's new with our soul being a doer is it's becoming cellular and in every cell of our body. And we've been using a stone, an alabaster, and just sitting with that stone, and that stone becomes like a remedy, kind of like medicine, and fills our body with this sense of devotion to ourselves and peace. I think the new energies are that when you forgive everybody, that what you're doing is loving yourself and being devoted to yourself. And being responsible for what you feel, think, and do, and not trying to hold others accountable for what they feel, think, and do, or trying to make them change in some way.
Right.
It's like giving yourself the love that you need,
Very good point, because so many people, and we've all been there, I'm sure you have, I've been there, where you're trying to make people see what they did and to forgive, but it's not about that at all. It's just resonating in forgiveness, and that makes everything lighter. And it's not condoning what someone has done, even if they've done a heinous crime. It's not about that either. It's all about forgiveness and for being free of all of that running around in your mind and body 50 million times.
The new energies, I think there's a palindrome that I say, that forgiveness births freedom, and freedom births forgiveness. And freedom is something I think all of us think we don't have enough of. But that, absolutely, I think, is the true path to freedom, is forgiveness.
I agree. And I think we all yearn for that. And, I mean, what really can attest to that or be a perfect example of that is when you sit quietly and before you start to meditate. That's that feeling of freedom. And I think we would all love to have that expand throughout the day, every day.
Yeah.
Do you feel more freedom now than you did, say, 5 years ago, Jaentra?
Yes, I do. I really do. And I think it's because I believe or know that all of us on the planet, whether it's obvious to me or not, are going to be healed, that we're going to be led into love. Now, I'm not saying that all of us will do it this lifetime, but for too long, negative things received more power and support than positive things. And that pendulum has swung. I don't think that negative things have anything new to share with any of us. We have experienced it. We have nothing more to learn from it. But by processing through and letting go of the past, we have the ability to experience new positive things that have never happened before.
Right.
And so that's the exciting thing about being alive right now.
I agree. And I think for the listeners, if they were just to do a little experiment, whatever is running around in their minds, whether it be a health issue, a fear issue over not being able, maybe they don't have much time on Earth, or maybe it's about money, or something's happening with one of the kids. It could be, the list is long, but if whatever is running around in their mind like a hamster wheel, and they took that off the table just for 3 minutes, they could actually be in the energy of freedom and feel what it's like. I believe, I don't know about you, but I believe once you experience that freedom, once you experience the light and love that tingles, you're at the beginning of expanding that.
I think it is true, and I know that with the soul being in every cell of the body, we now have the capacity and the ability, just through our intent, to start to feel that tingly love feelings that you're talking about. And I just want to spread the word so that people know.
Yes. Now, when you say the soul is in the body, is it facets of the soul, are you thinking, or it's just that it's expanded its wisdom and we're now feeling it at a higher level?
I think it's facets of the soul, the soul itself. In the old metaphysical world, we talked about our soul having a cord that connected to us, to each body.
Yeah.
And when somebody died, the cord would be released. That is an old energy way of looking at it and experiencing it. Then we shifted so that the soul became the observer. Wasn't just hanging out and letting us do whatever we wanted, and like a dog on a leash. It started feeding us input and saying, "Hey, I'm observing you're not making the best choice here,
Right.
or whatever. I'm observing you're making a great choice, or every time you do this is what happens to you." So we started getting feedback, and then we started building, I think, new energy bodies and new positive feelings in the last 15 years. And slowly our soul has thought we were strong enough to handle that vibration of the soul entering our body completely. And then when our soul enters our body, our soul is a participant in our healing. So then we can heal faster. We can become stronger faster. We can have a new vision of ourselves. And if we don't feel, if that doesn't manifest, we can at least be in the here and now and be able to look at ourselves with love and delight. Right. So it's been an evolutionary thing. One of the things that I think is true is, we had 7 chakras when we brought the 3-heart balancing energy in the early 90s, and we've grown more chakras. I think now we have 25, and so I encourage people to learn what those are. They're like it's like a driver's manual for your car. If your body, it's like how to access all kinds of energies and thoughts, in your body. So,
yes, and more people, I have to say, I know you've talked about the multiple chakras for some time, and now I I hear more people talking about, oh, there's way more than 7. So it's that also that collective consciousness that once we shift, other people are feeling it, and so then they start to shift just out of feeling the vibration.
Mhm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. And it makes me happy that I'm not the only one that thinks we've got more chakras, because then it becomes, I think, healing and consciousness ripples out, so like me talking about the soul being a doer, this is a stone we're throwing in a pond, and soon other people will be talking about that. Maybe that didn't hear the show or didn't even, think about it that way before. So.
Exactly. It's when we bring that into a conversation, then it's not so strange. It becomes a reality. Really, in a sense, just like the earth was flat. But then once, and then it shifted to the truth because people started talking about it. Same concept.
Darwin talked about how at some point fish grew legs. So I think when we've tried to evolve, we've been like those fish. We throw ourselves out of the pond and we land on the land and we don't feel very good at first. We're trying new things. And now the whole idea of we're not alone and that God, the source and the earth want us to grow and want us to become co-creators and create new realities. That's like all of a sudden we're like a fish that's growing legs, and changing things.
And it's true. We create. I mean, everyone on a personal level through their thoughts of what they choose, and it's a choice because no one else is able to choose our thoughts. So we have the power to do so much good for ourselves and our families in our thoughts. And I bet with the soul being in all parts of our body, I bet that is working towards changing those thoughts, even if we didn't want to change our thoughts. Even if we,
true.
Do you think that's possible if someone is really negative and maybe even in a more dangerous way? Or do you think that we are in a time where the energies and the soul meeting the body, that we can actually help someone shift that without even knowing them?
I do think that. That's because we're not alone and we're all one and that we're all going to be healed together. I know that right now everybody has in their energy field what I call a miracle tube, and it looks like an infinity symbol, and it goes through your navel and wraps the bottom part of the 8 wraps around the earth and the top part of the 8 wraps around the moon. And so nobody can curse you or hurt you or do something unless your soul welcomes it. And if your soul welcomes something that seems negative, again, it's some kind of past load of burden that you need to let go of. But the people that are asleep, that are even cruel, their souls want something different for them. And so they're changing whether you know it or not. I can't remember the author's name, and shame on me for that. That there's an author who's written all kinds of books, or written a book about how much improved humankind has been since the 90s. And that's the energy change. Like the crime rates have significantly dropped. Fewer people are smoking than ever smoked before. And I know there are other statistics. And I've been meaning to try to get a hold of that book because I think that is a little bit of the proof that says, yeah, people can change.
Right.
And, they're going to change. And they may not know why. In fact, they may still think of themselves as something nasty or, less than desirable. And I think we as a group can work together with them. There was a physical education teacher I knew, and the kids in her class kept throwing balls in her head, and she was getting hurt. And so we did consciously change her etheric body so that it became a barbed wire, so that it was like a safety net around her. And as soon as we did that, she stopped having people throw balls at her. So I think there's little things we can do energy-wise, even to protect our own space. There's a whole class I do called Practical Magic where we talk about that.
Mm-hmm. And now do you is this online or in Minnesota where you, is it Missouri? Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yeah, it's in Minnesota, but I have some teachers that are going to teach it online.
Oh, good.
So people can sign up and learn some of those, tricks, or I don't know what to call them tricks. They're dynamics, we're
tools.
Energy
They're
dynamic.
Tools.
There, thank you.
Yes, well, we are up on our break again, and we'd love to hear from you. Jaentra would love to have a question or share what's going on with your health, so be brave and call 833-220-1200. Again, 833-220-1200. And you can go on Jaentra's site and send her an email and get in touch with her that way. After the show, it's JaentraGreenGardener.com. Jaentra, again, Jaentra. And also the other website, HealingHandsNetwork.org. We'll be back in just a little minute.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Energy flows all around and within our bodies. It's the life force that nourishes, heals, and keeps us going. So how do we replenish and improve our life force? This is what Energy Medicine Weekend is all about. Explore the life-enhancing powers of energy medicine with leaders in the field, including Donna Eden, David Feinstein, and Sue Morter. Mention discount code DREAM for 20% off when you register for Energy Medicine Weekend at Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York, October 4th to 6th. Learn more at eomega.org.
Are you searching for a way to help create global change? Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network's vision is to have an eclectic group of radio hosts dedicated to educating, enlightening, and helping humankind with positive messages and tools that enhance lives using different modalities and programs. If you would like to join our team and help illuminate the universe, call Deborah at 508-226-1723 or Deborah at dreamvisions7radio.com.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
Connect with your angels and learn to bring light to the world with angel expert Kyle Gray. In this 5-day workshop at Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York, Gray guides you through exercises, prayer, meditation, and conversation to reclaim your power, open up your spiritual senses, and receive powerful personal messages from the angels. You also experience attunements and meditations that awaken the angelic and divine qualities within you. Mention discount code DREAM for 20% off when you register for the Angels and Miracles Workshop with Kyle Gray, October 6th to 11th. Learn more at eomega.org.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
We are with Jaentra Green Gardener, and Jaentra, I'd like to ask what you have found on your own journey, your own healing journey, and what you've learned Recently, have some things happened physically to you or for you?
I wish I could say yes with a thundering yes, and yes, things have happened. The latest thing that happened for us is really not to me, but my husband Clyde. He had a series of health crises, open heart surgery and a stroke and other surgeries, and too many of those kind of surgeries can kind of fog up your brain so you're not thinking as quickly as you used to. And
that's right.
And Friday, like 4 days ago, all of that fog cleared in his brain. He spent 8 hours, and what he did is he learned new software. He used to be an audio engineer, and he put a bunch of my old radio shows up on YouTube, and he didn't know the software. He had to relearn it. He had to do things he had never done before, and he didn't even tell me he was doing this. He was afraid he wasn't going to be able to do it. And one of the things that my guidance has happened Friday is we received a new astral body. And now our astral body is the energy body of our emotions. And many of us have our astral body stuck in the past, stuck kind of revolving and trying to help us not relive bad experiences. So we put it in dreams, and we stop the flow of emotion because the emotions seem to flow to something negative. And so I guess our soul decided it was time for a new astral body, and he got one that's no longer caught in the past. And I saw the change immediately, and he and I are so joyful about it. We really are. And I had another friend who had terrible, terrible pain in her left shoulder and heart skipping and all kinds of things, and she was on my table. I'd worked with her dozens of times on this issue, and it cleared, and it's gone. And the thing about, when our soul has decided that we've learned the lessons, we've moved the energy, processed, as you talk about, new things have happened. So for me, I had a childhood disease where the cells of my cornea started dying the day I was born, and it's causes blindness. It's called Fuchs dystrophy, and I had to have cornea transplants, but I don't see very well. And because of this new energy, and I am in the eye of the tornado, how it's left me is that I feel, or know, it's kind of a bigger thing than feel, I know that I'm going to have 20/20 vision or better this lifetime. And I can't say, it's crazy to think that, in all kinds of ways, but I absolutely know it. And at the same time, I'm getting help. I have helpers come in and help me do things that I can't do, either because I'm not strong enough or I can't see that well. So I live in two worlds, and I'm the group of people that hang out with us and receive healings from us, get introduced to that. So, like if somebody comes to us, say they've got a terrible cancer, yes, they could die, and we encourage them and coach them to go through making themselves ready and at peace with their life. And they could not die. And so it's like, I'm going to plan to live. Death takes care of itself. We're all going to die. This is the way it is. We don't have to make that a priority. We can instead decide, I plan to live. And then all of a sudden, I made decisions based on what will move my soul further into oneness and love today than I did yesterday. So it's really been a remarkable shift in my consciousness this summer, just to live like that. And then to see that ripple to, I could give you other examples of people who just gave up bad dynamics or bad
emotions or bad physical things, and they're gone. And I know they're not going to come back for them. It's like the soul is finished with that.
Right.
So I love the soul being a doer and me not being alone.
Yes.
And not having to fix it all.
Yes. And I think coming together as a group, too, where you have built a community there and beyond, because I know the volunteers are everywhere and keep expanding. You can't say enough about community, because then you have that, that connection, the human connection with others, and that energy is supporting each other as a whole. And all those things, I think, feed into healing.
Well, that's why I'm not the Messiah. I'm not the one. I'm kind of like a scribe or like tech support. I write people's stories down and people's messages, but Spirit Balancing is based on the open source method. So I hear something from somebody, and I think it might be guidance for us, because this is a worldwide change we're all making. So, the people that are in our community are pretty independent. They don't really want to follow somebody. So they want to craft their own lives. I think in some ways, they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied with corruption. They're not satisfied with sadness, or being stuck in sadness. They're not satisfied with not being every bit of skills and love that they can manage, So it's really a privilege to know them all, but I don't want anybody listening thinking that I created Three Heart Balancing. It was a group of us. We wanted to. I had a teacher, Ethel Lombardi, who was a Reiki master, and she was always looking for a faster way. That's what she says a true healer does. And she gave up Reiki and started bringing in something she called Marielle. And then after she died, and in the early 90s, a group of us, we'd spent all kinds of time and energy doing therapy and healing on ourselves and money, and we said, we have to find a faster way, and so our group, prayed and worked together, and then we came up with the knowing that the will heart, which in the old way of looking at things is the bottom three chakras, so it's the chakra of existence, the chakra of the sacral chakra, which is sexuality and money and emotional archive, and then the solar plexus, which I think is the place of nurturing in the body, because we eat our food and breathe our breath, in that chakra. And changing those chakras and opening them out and giving breathing to them changed everything. So all of a sudden, everybody mattered. They mattered. Their story mattered. Their emotions mattered. And so often spiritual traditions said, don't feel bad. Separate yourself from those deeper things that make us human. And if you decide you're going to heal someone from the foundation up, then that's a deep healing. That's not just making things look pretty on the, upper floors. That's the kind of healing that says, I'm not alone. That's the kind of healing that says, I deserve to have a soul create a body that expresses exactly who I am and who I want to be. So I know my body's going there. And I'm really, I can cry for joy. Clyde sent me the links and told me how he had put those radio shows on, and I just played the first 3 or 4 minutes of each one and could hear that they'd gone through, and I was so happy. It's like I got my husband back in a way I haven't had him for years, and I'm so grateful.
It's so
it
beautiful.
Means a lot to me. So that's the latest thing.
Yes, and we can feel that, Jaentra. We can feel that, and the joy that you're feeling, and almost unbelievable, but in essence, it's on the miracle end of things. It's on the miracle spectrum, what has happened with Clyde. And it can happen to all of us, where we get the clarity, we really get the aha moment, all wrapped up in one beautiful knowing. So,
that's what I think the healer's job is just holding the space to allow each person to come to that knowing. Even when they doubt, and even if they think they're not worthy of a miracle or of a big change or of opening up, just saying, I know we're going to get there. And it's not like you know all the paths to the journey ahead of time.
Right.
It's not like you have a map. But it's like you make a decision here and now about what would be the next good thing you could do to push your body into wholeness. And you connect and listen to your soul, listen to your intuition, listen to the source, listen to the earth, all those voices that want to encourage you. And ask for help, say, and then when you get the help, imagine feeling something you've never felt before, because there's some positive new energy that you, little old you, who is only one person, is bringing in to help all of our humankind. So that's the way I look at things.
I love everything you've said, Jaentra, and we've come to the end of our show. And the beautiful words that you have used will live on, because each one has an energetic frequency. And so I thank you for coming on the show again, and we'll have you back.
Oh, good.
And so I love you and all that you are, and I'm so happy that Clyde has his new astro body and all is well. And for those out there listening, share this show, share all the shows with your friends, and listen to it more than once and feel the words, and you'll get it, and it will help you on your journey, because the soul is on the journey. Until the next time we come together, au revoir.
Thank you, Deb.
Are you seeking a clearer path to love? Then tune in to the Love by Intuition show next week. All designed to your highest good. To contact Deborah Beauvais, owner of Empowered Connections, call her at 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or link on to lovebyintuition.com. Remember, we are all one, and we are all part of the miracle of love.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.